Just when you thought, man, Ken Walls hasn't been live today. What's up with that? I'm kidding. I know you weren't thinking that. I'm kidding. So, hey, man, what an amazing day I have had. Holy moly. I mean, absolutely incredible day. I am in a mastermind group with Joe Soto and Jeffrey Gitomer. And what's up, James Bodwin? James Baudouin. So I am in this mastermind group with Jeffrey Gitomer and Joe Soto. And Joe has turned into quite a really good friend. And the dude is so helpful. And I gotta tell you, like, the title of this video. Hey Scott, how you doing? What's up, Chuck Studebaker? So the title of this video is, can you admit when you are wrong? And you know, I have been in marketing and sales for a very long time. What's up, Weldon Whitehurst? My wife was the global VP of marketing for two different companies that do over $500 million a year. And so we kind of feel like we have a pretty good handle on marketing. But with the advent of funnels and all the stuff out there for marketing. Hey Sandy, how are you? And Jim Estes is in the house. What's up, brother? How's Cali? So look, I can admit when I'm wrong. It took me a minute. I got to show you guys something from when I had Joe Soto on my show. He told a story, and I have it queued up. Drop a 1 in the comments if you want to see this one particular part of the video where he talks about it's about the coffee, and he's talking about. Let me frame this for you. He's talking about how to deliver constructive criticism to help somebody become better, right? And you have to be able to accept that you don't know everything, right? And that's tough when you get 30 years experience in sales and marketing. You feel like, man, I think I've pretty much seen it all. All right, I've got some ones in here. I want to show you guys this. This one bit about that Joe Soto talks about on how to deliver constructive criticism. It is really, really powerful. So watch this with me. Hang on, let me move this down here. Let me make sure I still have that. Okay, I do. All right, I'm going to show you this. It's powerful. This will be one of the most powerful things you've ever seen, because my wife and I met with Joe today, and oh my gosh, please share this. I would absolutely love it if you shared it. What's up, Mark Gassard? How you doing, bro? So this is powerful. I've shown this before. He was on my show, but I want to reiterate this. I want you to get this. So hang tight. Watch this. Been able to, like, when you sat and I was in the hot seat there with you and Jeffrey Gitomer, and just want to make sure you guys can hear it okay, right? Just say yes or drop a 1 if you can hear it. In the mastermind group, you were able to, first off, you were able to see that I have a huge ego, and you navigated that well.
Everyone, we all do. We all,
So, but
we have to drink our own Kool-Aid once in a while for self-confidence. But anyway,
just tell the story about the coffee, because I couldn't repeat it exactly to my wife. I was trying to repeat it, and I'm like, never mind. I'll have Joe tell you someday. So tell the story about the coffee.
I will. It's a short one, and it is easy for most people to grasp. I was this was when I was at one of my NLP retreats, and the trainer said to me, it was the same conversation that I had where he said, "Get out of your own way."
Right.
But he said, "Joe, And this was, we were talking about how to respond to criticism or feedback, and how to take feedback and how not to take things personally.
Right.
And that's where the conversation was around. So if anybody listening has ever asked themselves, like, I kind of, how do I take things not personally? Or maybe you know somebody who takes things personally. Well, I know in my business, a lot of clients can take things personally. They got big egos, and I've got to somehow get them in the frame of mind where they're going to listen to my feedback, my advice. And even though they hire us, sometimes they don't listen.
Right.
And I also know that when you're coaching people, which is why I shared it with you, Ken, and everybody else, you have to kind of open their mind up first, so they put their guard down to be receptive to what could be life-changing insight at times. And when I learned this, it changed my life. I actually think it saved my marriage. I'm happily married now. I got remarried. We went on to have, my wife and I have 7 kids in the home now that are 16 and under. We didn't hit that part. We didn't fast forward to.
We were going to.
My wife and I have 7 kids in the home. Yeah, and it's amazing. But here's the story. So he said, Joe, let me help you for the rest of your life with giving you an analogy. I said, what's the analogy? He says, would you like to know how you know when you have a good marriage? I said, that seems random. I said, yeah, I would love to know. I said, I at the time I was recently divorced. I said, I would love to know how you know.
7 kids. Trust me, our marriage is great.
But that's how you started. Would you like to know how you know if you have a good marriage? He says, okay, here's how you know. He says, when the wife comes downstairs in the morning into the kitchen, the husband's already down there, and he's sitting at the table and maybe reading the newspaper, reading a book. And he goes, the roles can be reversed, but for the sake of this example, the wife comes down and she makes a pot of coffee and she hands him a cup of coffee that she pours, and he takes a drink of the coffee and he looks at her and he says, oh man, this coffee is awful. And the wife knows he's talking about the coffee. And he just kind of looked at me when he said that. I said, okay, so let me see if I got this straight. I said, so there's a couple ways that the wife could respond. If she knows it's about the coffee, then her response might be, hey, I'll make you another cup. Maybe it's a bad roast. And maybe, maybe it was sitting out. I don't know. Maybe I poured too much water in it and it's not strong enough. We'll figure it out. But she knows he's talking about the coffee. The bad marriage, that's the good marriage. The bad marriage is, well, make your own coffee next time. Or, well, you should just be happy I made you a cup of coffee. Or, maybe you should have got up and made a pot of coffee for me. And she takes it personally. And that really sank with me, because now I'm like, wow, so if it's about the coffee, you keep it about something that isn't personal. And so I would actually go into clients and do this, Ken. I would say, listen, I have a lot of things I want to talk about, because I've kind of audited your marketing. I've gone through your business, and I have some suggestions, some feedback. And I would tell them the coffee story. And I'd say, just so you guys know, everything I'm going to share with you is about the coffee. And they'd go, it puts it in a frame that they can make sense, they can understand. So I do with coaching people, with coaching clients as well.
So it's about the coffee, right? And here's the thing. So I met with Joe today, and as you guys know, I'll throw the banner up here. If you haven't downloaded my new ebook, 100livestreamingideas.com, I'm actually changing it. It'll be 100livestreamsecrets.com. And then and I've tweaked the book. We're working on tweaking it, and you'll get, everybody that has downloaded it, you'll get the new version. I've been working on this for hours now. But I got to tell you something. Like I said to Joe, I said, it amazes me how many people that I've talked to about this that haven't downloaded the ebook yet, and it's free. Like, it's like, what do they think I'm gonna like? I don't understand. Where am I? What am I missing? So he went through our pages, went through stuff, and my my wife said, oh, so she took it personal right at first for a split second. She said, oh, so my copy, the writing is bad or something. And I just looked at her. I said, Joe, would you tell her it's about the coffee? And so, I can admit that I'm not perfect. I can admit that I don't know everything, right? So Joe went through and made, like, this is the guy that actually, like, again, I always screw up the details, but I know that Joe worked with Ty Lopez. Joe has spoken on Russell Brunson's stage for the ClickFunnels live events. Joe has worked with some massive big time people, and he knows his stuff. Like, he's literally a legend. Joe Soto is a legend. And so when you're sitting with somebody that's a legend that may know a couple things more than you do, it's, you know, I don't know if this works for you guys, but sometimes I take it, I may take it a little too personal, when in fact it's just about the coffee, man. Just admit that you don't know everything, that somebody may know something a little more than you. And I was able to do that. And because of my wife and I being able to do that, and looking at this whole thing going, oh my gosh, like, wow, just a couple, like, it's only not just a couple, a few little tweaks that we needed to make. And we have the perfect formula now. And it's because we were open to saying, hey, we're wrong. We were wrong. And so I'm excited. I'm really excited about the changes and the new stuff. And, you know, I just wonder, is there anybody in here that's watching that's like been there, that said, you know, you hold on to your idea with a pit bull like grip, and you don't want to let go because you just feel like you're right and there's no way that you're wrong. And I've been there many, many, many times. And when you hear that story that I just shared with you, that, you know, Joe shared with about the coffee, it's like, wow, that's powerful when you can say, excuse me, this is where I screwed up. No, honey, it's not about the coffee. Right. Yeah. You don't want to, that's the wrong move. John says, knowing nothing is a high state of consciousness. Amen. That's the truth right there, John. That is the truth. So, you know, again, I don't think that there's anybody watching right now that can say, you know, hey, I love being wrong. Like, nobody likes to be wrong. You know, if we nobody does. And it's, what's crazy is it can be like the what Joe shared with me was literally about the title and the header. Like, if you go over to 100livestreamingideas.com, we've changed a couple of things, and it doesn't look a lot different, but the messaging is a little bit different, and that makes all the difference in the world. It makes all the difference in the world. So, man, thank God that Joe Soto exists, number one, because the guy he's incredible. Absolutely unbelievable human being. Again, I said it. He jumped on a live stream with me the other night here on the live, and which is just unbelievable. The guy has 7 kids at home between the ages of 2 and 16. And at 11 o'clock at night, he jumped on a live stream with me, and you guys got to see, anybody that was on, you got to see some of his genius. The guy is so intelligent, so smart, and, you know, recommended a couple of books for me and my wife. And we're like, you know, we're getting ready to go on vacation, but, like, you know, the whole way I'm going to be listening to books. She's reading books. I mean, we're because I always read. I'm always reading. I'm always listening to books. but sometimes it's listening to or reading the right books for the moment that you need the information. So pretty excited about that. Anyway, I just want to come on and talk about admitting when you're wrong. As a lot of you know, I'm a recovered alcoholic with coming up on 18 years sober. And, one of the keys to long-term sobriety and I don't know, call it spiritual freedom, is being able to admit promptly when you're wrong, when you screw up, when you make a mistake, being able to say, hey, I screwed up. Now, how do I fix it? And taking the actions to fix that mistake. And so that's really all I have got. James said, if being wrong was a profession, I'd be right. Yeah, same here, dude. And that's the thing. That's what's funny, man, is I think that we all have this expectation of that we have to be perfect in everything that we do. Oh, that's awesome, John. That is awesome. Wow, you literally have double. You have double what I have almost. That's incredible, man. But it's one day at a time, right? Amber Feld, how in the world are you? Good to see you. Wow, your hair is red now. Looks great. So, I think that being able to admit that you're wrong, man, it's so powerful. It is so powerful. It's powerful. There's a wonderful book written by Dr. David R. Hawkins, and it's called Power versus Force. And in that book, he talks about, whenever you try to force something, and this is a universal principle, whenever you try to force anything, it automatically creates resistance. It creates pushback. It creates resistance. When you surrender to something, whatever it is, when you surrender, when you stop pushing so hard, that thing you always wanted. Have you ever had that happen where you're like, I gotta have this, I gotta have this, I gotta have this, and then you can't get it, you can't figure out how to get it, how to make it happen, and you just finally go, I give up. I give up. And then it happens. There's power. There's power in surrender. And there's power, massive amounts of power in being able to admit that you're wrong. Being able to admit that you don't know everything. Huge power in that. So that's all I got for you. Charles says, my wife always gives me a big hug and says, Charles, it's okay to say I'm right and you're wrong. I know. I love that. I love that. I hate it, actually, but with my wife, I have to admit it far too often. We won't go into all that, but hey, again, it's what creates, it strengthens a relationship. It strengthens it to be able to show that you're human and you don't know everything, and to be able to humbly admit that you don't know everything, and say, hey, I messed up here. I was wrong. I admit it. And what do we do to fix it? What can I do to fix this? And there's sometimes you can't fix it, right? If you make a really bad mistake, you can't fix it. So that's when I just go, well, I can't fix this. I've done everything I can to fix this, and I'm going to just turn it over to God, or whatever you refer to as your higher power. I refer to my higher power as God. And I go, you know what? I surrender, dude. You take this. I can't do it. I can't, but I know you can. I mean, you did kind of create everything. Like, you did create the heavens and the earth and the trees and the birds and the bees and the fish and the water. Like, wow, you even thought of water. So I'm sure you can handle this situation, whatever it is. And that's where I honestly, I think that once you admit, hey, I can't do it, I surrender, life becomes magical. Siraj, thank you for being on here. Joel Boer. How in the world are you, brother? Good to see you. Charles, thank you. It will be a vacation / workcation. I don't ever, I don't know. I can't ever just turn it complete. I can. I just choose not to. Thank you, John. I appreciate you, man. You rock. But you know, I never turn it off completely. It's just, you know, when you own a business and you're constantly, you know, working and hustling and grinding, and it's tough to just completely, for me, it's to completely just say, hey, I'm out for a week. I can't do that. Anyway, so look, I appreciate you all. I love you all. Go over and check out our we've made some tweaks to 100livestreamingideas.com. Grab the current ebook. Once the new one's released, you will be emailed a new copy of the new one. So don't be afraid to get the current one. I'm making some adjustments, and the new one will be out here soon, but here in the next day, not even probably. So you don't have a choice to shut it off, really. I only get that in the air when you're flying a plane. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, man. So look, I appreciate all of you jumping on here. And if I can help you with anything, don't hesitate. Reach out to me, and I will see you later. Robin, thank you for asking if you could share this. I'm honored. I honestly, it's an honor to have people share my message. I really appreciate it. Guys, have a great night, and I will see you soon. Bye-bye.